Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Tom. It is March 25th, I think. Anyway, I thought I'd do something different today, and I thought I'd share a story with you instead. Hope everybody's being safe and doing well, quarantining. This is a true story, so if you're in for a laugh, if you stick around and listen. So, this story takes place about 13, maybe 14 years ago. And this is all true, by the way. So, a good friend of mine was getting married. I lived in St. George, Utah at the time. And we were having a big get-together. We had a lot of friends coming into town for the wedding that we hadn't seen in a while. And we had this one friend coming from out of town. He was a little bit older, a couple years older than some of us, but we'll call him Jared. So he was coming to town, and I happened to have a nice place, had an extra guest room in it. And so I was like, hey, you're welcome to come crash over at my place while you're in town for the wedding and what have you. And so he took me up on that, so that was cool. And so we go to the wedding. We're all drinking, as we do. Good times for everybody. And my buddy and his wife that were getting married were like, what next? And they're like, well, we kind of just want to hang out and party with everybody, keep the celebrations going. So I was like, cool, let's come back to my place. Everybody can come. So all the friends come back to my place. I don't know, there's 20 or so of us there. Not a huge party, but all of best friends. And so we're drinking pretty heavy, and we're having a good time. And I go talk to a buddy of mine, and we go out in the garage. We have a little conversation, and we come inside, and I notice that the laundry room light is on, which seemed unusual. The door was closed, and so I was like, what's going on here? So I open up the door. Now, keep in mind, I was drunk too. By this point, we'd been partying all day, celebrating, so we were all pretty hammered. Well, I open up the door to see Jared pulling his pants up. And I immediately look down, and I see a drain, and I'm thinking, did this guy just piss down my drain? Well, just as I'm kind of taking it all in, he slams the dryer door shut, and I look over, and this big log of a shit drops from the dryer door down to the floor when he slammed the door shut, and I'm like, what? Well, he proceeds to try and turn my dryer on to flush this shit, and I'm just in disbelief, and I'm like, did you just shit in my dryer? Like, for reals? Did you shit in my dryer? And my buddy's there, and he's like, oh my God, Tom's gonna lose it. And so he's like, look, I'll clean it up. Now, Jared, he was totally 3 sheets to the wind. He had no idea what was happening. And he was insistent upon trying to flush or turn this dryer on. So my buddy wrangles him out of there. I walk out of there, and I'm just like, holy shit, Jared just shit in my dryer. So everybody's like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. So we're all in disbelief. This guy just took a big dump in my dryer and pinched it off when he shut the door. So, a funny side note, there was another guy also named Jared at the party. So as this is flying around the party that Jared shit my dryer, the other Jared steps outside, and everyone's like, what the? And he's like, whoa, it wasn't me. I didn't shit anywhere. So my buddy cleans it up, being a good guy that he is. This was his friend he'd grown up with from childhood. So they clean it up, we all have a laugh, and I swear everyone to secrecy, because at the time I'm dating a girl, and I'm like, look, if this girl finds out someone shit in the dryer, she's going to lose her mind, and I'm going to have to go buy a new dryer, which I didn't want to do. I probably should have. So the next day, we go to sleep, and I'm like, hopefully this guy just gets up and leaves. Like, This is pretty embarrassing. It's kind of an awkward situation. And so I'm laying there in bed, and I hear this guy get up, pour a bowl of cereal, and turn the TV on. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's not leaving. So I finally decide to get up, and I walk out there, and he's sitting on my couch, and I don't even know. I mean, obviously he didn't even wipe or anything, so he must have had shitty draws when he woke up. But in any case, I'm like, how you feeling today? And he goes, oh, man. He's all, I feel like shit. And I start laughing because I go, well, that's real funny because you shit my dryer last night. And he goes, what? So he proceeds to go, oh, man, I thought I had a dream that I shit in your dryer. He's all, but I thought it was just a dream. And I'm like, no, man, you really shit in my dryer. And my buddy cleaned it up. Your buddy cleaned it up. And he's like, oh, my God, you got to be kidding me. So he's super embarrassed. And I'm super like, what the fuck? So he's like, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to clean it, man. I'm like, yeah, clean it again, please. Here's some cleaner. So he goes in, cleans it up, and he makes a quick departure. He cleans it up, sorry, see ya, takes off. And so then, of course, like, that's where my clean clothes go. I got to make sure this is really clean. So I go in, I clean it again. And I turn it on for a minute, and man, it smells like hot shit in my laundry room. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I open up that dryer door, and there'd been shit had gotten mashed in between the seams in the sheet metal. So when I open the dryer door, all these little shit flakes come sprinkling down. And it was so disgusting. Needless to say, I cleaned the hell out of it, swore everyone to secrecy, and that was that. Now, what ends up happening is, fast forward, my girlfriend gets back. She's in town, and every single time we get drunk with my friends, everybody brings up Jared shitting in my dryer. So I'm trying to downplay it like everybody's fucking with me, like an inside joke. So my girlfriend doesn't think she's washing her clean clothes and then drying them in the shit dryer. And by the way, Jared's only explanation for that was he had listened to a Dane Cook stand-up, and he talks about you want to make a party wild, shit in the coat closet on everyone's coats, and that was the best he could come up with. Needless to say, every time we're partying, everybody brings it up, and I'm like, hey, you know, trying to shush him about it. And anyway, it was an ongoing thing for several months. Now, the funny end of that is we wound up breaking up. And, of course, as we parted ways, I'm like, oh, and by the way, this guy totally shit in our dryer. So there. And then for forever, people were posting memes on Facebook of like shitty handprints down a washing machine and stuff like that. And Jared never came back. I actually never saw the guy again. And that was like 13, 14 years ago. So there's my funny true story. I hope that made you laugh. If you've never heard about it, people have shit in dryers before. So keep your laundry room closed. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.